Living from our heart, living from our core, living from our power, we all get more. We are powerful.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Transformation Summit. I'm Sue Erda. I'm your host for this event, and I am one of the publishers at Powerful You Publishing. And we are so honored, I specifically am so honored to talk to all of these amazing authors who are the authors of our upcoming book, The Art and Truth of Transformation for Women. So we have 20 authors who have shared their story of transformation for you so that you can find some encouragement and positivity and empowerment in their words, and knowing that if they can go through and live through the things that they have done and transform their own lives, you can do it too. So I'm really grateful today to be talking to Shelora Fitzgerald. She is one of these women who has bravely and beautifully shared her story in this book. I'm going to read a brief introduction of Shelora, and then we'll get started talking with her.
Thank you.
Shelora's escape from attempted rape at the age of 9 drives her life. I'm going to start this over. I will edit this. Shelora's escape from attempted rape at the age of 9 drives her lifelong quest to understand the nature of God. Along the way, she has acquired a vast array of historical, scientific, psychological, and metaphysical knowledge, tools, and techniques. Shelora is a highly intuitive spiritual teacher and creative visionary with a background in the performing and healing arts. She runs the gamut from actress and director to registered clinical counselor, Course in Miracles therapist, and soul psychologist, as well as being a certified advanced hand analyst with the International Institute of Hand Analysis. As a public speaker, Shelora inspires her audiences to recognize the hidden treasure trove of precious gifts buried beneath every traumatic wound. And Shelora, I'm so happy to talk with you today. How are you?
I'm so excited to be able to share the gifts that I've received through my life with the audience that you have created for this book. I'm so excited.
Me too, because I've talked to you, I've read your story, which is just a wonderful story. Besides being a really beautiful story of transformation that you've had, it is beautifully written. You're a beautiful, wonderful writer, and you know how to share words. So I'm really looking forward to talking with you today and having our audience get to know you a little bit better. And I will tell you, I love the title you have for your interview, Finding the Treasure in the Trauma. Unearthing the gifts of our lost selves, because there's so much in there, and I know we're going to talk about that today. So let's start with talking about your chapter. And your chapter in the book is titled Transcending the Trauma Trap. And I know you experienced a terrifying assault at the age of 9 years old, and it changed your life forever. Tell me, how did that attack impact you, your whole life, physically, emotionally, spiritually? How did it do that?
Okay, so because I'm a writer, I understand the elements of plot. So there's before, and then there's the crisis, and then there's after. And it's not what happens to us, it's what we make of what happens to us that makes the difference, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So before it happened, I was an enchanted child. I was innocent, I was trusting, I was friendly, and I was courageous. I played with the boys. They were more fun. We had adventures. So I, trusting that I was safe, went into the woods alone. And while I was there, this incredible miracle happened, a moment of grace that was so pure that I was standing literally in the light, so still that it was showering down on me like it was coming from heaven. It was like a spotlight from heaven. And I was at home in the spotlight. I've been on stage since I was 3. And I knew I was loved. And I just experienced this moment of grace that was so beautiful that 2 white butterflies landed on my head, mistaking me for a flower. And I didn't know it, but in the bushes, watching me and waiting for the moment to attack was a teenage, what we used to call a greaser.
Mm-hmm.
And So in an instant, he came out from behind the bushes, and the shock of even his being there just went through my body and brought me back into my body. So it was a physical shock, okay? And it just, like, I had never felt fear. I didn't know what it was. And it shot through me from my brain to my toes. And the first reaction was I froze. We know the freeze, fight, flight. Well, I didn't fight. I froze. And then he physically came into that space. The butterflies flew away. And the next thing I knew, I was flat on my back, looking up at someone who said they were going to fuck me. And from my innocence, I said, what's fuck? And in that moment, it's like the source of that light made everything slow down, and I had clear vision, otherwise known as clairvoyance. And it's like people say when you think you're going to die, how everything slows down, and it's like a slow motion movie, and you can see every detail. That movie is recorded in my mind, complete with the moment before it happened. So anytime I want, I can go back to the light, which was my salvation. It's the source of the miracle that saved me. And my life since then has been a series of miracles. So here is it, but it showed up like a transparent movie in front of his face. And instead of seeing this terrifying monster, and my body thought he wanted to kill me because I didn't know what fuck was. I just knew that when he ground that cigarette out in the ground, he was looking at me and saying, I could crush you. You could be extinguished just like that. Your light out, okay? And I was shaking inside, but then I stopped and everything was very quiet and very still. And I was focused. And it was like I was in the hands of God.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Now, you talk about this like it's a miracle. I mean, you said this was a miracle that occurred.
It was.
Let's talk about that, because I know you mentioned it in the chapter in the book too. Tell me, what do you perceive a miracle to be? And then we'll talk more about the miracle you talk about in the book that you call a necklace of miracles.
Exactly. The miracle was the gift of clairvoyance, because when I saw the movie in front of his face, I saw the truth of who he was. It was like I somehow knew his soul, knew his pain, knew why he was doing it, and I knew what to do and what to say to save myself. So I was saved literally by a miracle. It was like the physical and the metaphysical met, and that's what created the miracle. Now, later there was, in my life, there was a huge miracle where I heard a voice, clairaudience, say there's no order of difficulty in miracles. All expressions of love are maximal. That's the first principle in A Course in Miracles, of the principle of miracles, okay? And a miracle, according to A Course in Miracles, is a shift in perception from fear, terror, paralysis, frozen forever, trapped in the body, to love. So seeing through the eyes of fear, he was a monster. Seeing through the eyes of love, he was a boy who was in agony. And I could see in the movie, I said, I have a father who loves me very much. And at that moment, I knew he did not. And so my heart literally went out to him. I saw through his eyes. I can now see how beautiful I must have appeared to him, standing in the light with my golden hair and my yellow bathing suit, totally innocent. And I understand, after a lifetime of searching, that what he was trying to do was steal that innocence because he hadn't had it.
Mm-hmm.
He, you know, he lived in a violent home, and he lived in, you know, where you had to fight for survival. He was poor. I was not. I wasn't rich, but I wasn't poor. And I, you know, the gratitude and the knowing that I was loved, and that's what saved me. And I helped him save himself from doing something he didn't want to do. I knew it. Now he was, you know, I from that being trapped in the body and thinking my physical body was going to be killed, I transcended that with the truth of who he authentically was and who I was. I was 9. Where did that intelligence, that courage, that brilliance, that miracle come from?
Where did it come from?
The source of the light.
Mm-hmm.
That I now experience that was charging me up and giving me this. It was like the eye of the hurricane. It was like I was so safe. I felt like I was embraced in the light. And so I went from, you know, I shrunk, I shriveled. I was a little girl. He was a big man, you know, and so he had power. And I felt powerless. But in that moment, when I'm physically pinned to the ground, looking up at him, and he's telling me what he's going to do to me, the wisdom of a 9-year-old, it's the wisdom of innocence. It's clear sight. I saw in his face when I said, "What's fuck?" He went, "What's the use of doing this? It doesn't mean anything," because it wasn't about power. And somehow I knew it wasn't me that he wanted to hurt. It was he wanted to punch his father in the face. But I could see in the movie, he wouldn't let himself. And I saw his mother standing by it, powerless also. So really the question of my life has been, why? Why did that happen to me? Why did he do it? And the solution that I came up with was brilliant. I have a father who loves me very much. And if you let me go, if you give me my freedom, he'll give you money. I knew that in his world, the substitute or the symbol of love was money. He couldn't even hope for love. Although it was clear to me also that he loved his father. I could see him drunk, punching him. So I just, it was like certainty. And when his answer told me that I was right, because he said, "How much?" It wasn't a question of whether he was going to let me go. It was just how much money was he going to get for doing it.
Yeah.
And that was the best he could do. So that was the miracle that saved me. And I don't think it was an accident, because that moment of grace is my safe haven. And I can always go back there and get charged up again. And that's what's given me the faith throughout my life. And it has led me on a crazy ass life. I have had miracle after miracle, but this is what I see my life as. And this is what I talk about as the necklace of miracles. It's a pearl necklace, okay? I was blessed to grow up in a very, a household full of books and artists and dancers and greatness, okay? The possibility of greatness and talent and giftedness. And, you know, when I was 6, my father, and I was taken to what was the Sadler's Wells Ballet, the Royal Ballet, and to see Giselle. And in it, Giselle goes mad because her heart is broken, and she takes a pearl necklace and she flings it across the stage. And we are in, you know, almost the front row seats, and I can see those pearls and I can feel that, and I can hear the pearls bouncing across the stage. And, you know, like for me, that was reality. That magical fairy tale world was as real as anything. And the next thing I know, she's having dinner in my house. So the pearls are the symbol of the miracle, because it takes a grain of sand to make a pearl, right?
Yes.
And it's the friction, sorry, it's the friction with the sand that creates, you know, layer after layer after layer of luminescent, shining, whatever that is. I mean, it's almost a rainbow of protection, a shield, and it grows into a pearl.
Yes.
And each pearl on the necklace has come from that grain of sand. So to me, that grain of sand is the point of pain. And the other thing about a pearl necklace, you can have a bunch of pearls bouncing across the stage, but it's not a necklace anymore. So what, do you know what pearls are strung on?
Not specifically.
Silk. Because it is the strand that's the strongest. And each pearl is separated from its neighbor by this tiny little knot. And I still see that as if tied by an invisible hand, because it protects each pearl from its neighbor so it doesn't get damaged, right? By friction. Friction created the pearl, but you don't want to, okay, damage it. And then it's clasped, so it has to be clasped together at the back. But the necklace, the knots are also the pain of how we get tangled up in the pain. They're there to strengthen the strand of pearls. Okay.
It's a beautiful analogy.
Isn't it? And I have my mother's pearls, and I will pass them on. I have Dame Margot's ballet shoe. I will pass that on, that magic, you know, and I want to leave a legacy of miracle stories. And that's why I'm writing my book, White Butterflies.
Beautiful.
And this is a chapter from that book.
Love it. I absolutely love it. So, and I hope that the listeners are listening to the miracles that come often through circumstances we wouldn't expect a miracle to come from. And that is really the beauty of this. You know, Shelora, I'd like to move into talking about some of the work that you do. I know that you help people with their own life lessons, and you help them to overcome obstacles that they're facing and tough things in their life so that they can live their life purpose. And how do you do that? How do you help people live what we'll call a soul-satisfying and meaningful life?
Beautiful. What happens physically when you are shocked or attacked is you separate from your authentic self. The brain compartmentalizes the pain so it won't have to feel it. So it goes numb. But if you can't feel the pain or the fear, you can't feel anything. And without being able to feel, you can't heal, okay? You need to experience that trauma and see it from another point of view. So the, you know, parts of yourself get hurled outside you. I cannot accept this, so I'm going to project it onto you. So you become the other, the evil one, the monster, the enemy, right? And then you're in a world where you have to control everything because everything's dangerous, and that's post-traumatic stress disorder, and all these layers of mental, emotional, physical disabilities that paralyze us and keep us stuck back there, victims of what happened to us in the past. So what I do is all my techniques and tools are, things like voice dialogue, where I will put the person who seems to have been your enemy. It could be a parent, it could be a boss, it could be your brother or sister, whatever, a teacher, someone who criticized you, judged you, made you feel less, and made you feel that you had to perform, create a false identity, adapt in order to belong and be safe. It's from unconditional love to conditional love. What separated you from yourself? So all my work is aimed at integrating it, getting to the place where people stopped and breaking through that, and clasping together their miracle. And the miracle is in your hands. The plan is in your hands. It's like a treasure map. So I am skilled at reading that treasure map. And the most important gift is not your life purpose, it's your life lesson, what you came to learn. And people ask, why did this happen to me? And everybody has had something. It doesn't matter. It may not be as dramatic as what happened to me. It could be a divorce. It could be, you were left out of the will, whatever it was. Mm-hmm. There's always something, right?
Absolutely.
And we learn that we have to change who we are, and it's not safe to speak our truth. And when you can have the conversation with whoever it is you blame or whatever it is you've projected outside of yourself, and sit in their seat and see through their eyes, that's when the miracle happens. It's like all of a sudden, oh, that's why. I have a client right now whose father told her she was an ugly piece of S and left and never saw her again. And she was 4. And the day after that, she was playing with a neighbor's child and a knife stabbed through her hand. And she was in the hospital in a coma for 3 days. That's severe trauma.
Oh, yeah.
She's 44 now. And she still wants to have that conversation with her father, who has disappeared from the face of the earth. His family can't find him. Nobody can find him. He went off to marry another woman and disappeared. So in her heart, I promised her, she phoned me at 11 o'clock last night. She is often suicidal because that's the impact. It can do that. If you get attached to, I'm not even supposed to be here. There's something so bad and wrong around me. I'm so ashamed of being me that I'm unacceptable, even to God. I'm a mistake.
And so you help people actually get to that place where they can have that conversation with the person that they need to have it, get it out, understand it, and then you help them move forward.
And that's grappling with your life lesson, which is identified in your fingerprints, okay? That's a miracle. Isn't it?
I love it. It is absolutely a miracle. Let's talk more about that, because I know that you have a gift for our listeners as well, and it has something to do with this hand miracle, hand analysis that you talk about. Please tell us about that and let us know where we can get that.
Because I'm so grateful for this opportunity to reach a wider audience, I'm offering a special. I generally charge $330 for.
Let me stop you just a minute. We're going to edit this. I just want to say, I should have said this before. Is there a gift, or this is just a special offer?
It's a special offer. It's not a gift.
Okay, that's not okay. Actually, I should have caught it.
This is
a gift. It's not okay. Like Amanda Rose, there are different parameters for different things. she doesn't work for us. She's, you know, she has her own
Oh,
business
that's what
and
she
she
told me to
recommends that.
do.
Yeah. So I'm just
Okay,
looking at
I'll give a 20-minute free consultation.
Okay, yes, I'm sorry about that. And I should have told you because I did look at that and I didn't have a chance to write the notes because stuff happened this morning.
Mhm.
Okay, so, okay, yes, do that. Now we only have a few minutes. So if you look at the time, you'll see that we only have a few minutes left. So
Okay.
if you could do
Okay.
it like quickly in like 3 minutes or less, please, that would be great. Okay,
Okay.
so you can start over as if I've just asked you that you have this gift for our listeners, and I'll ask you again, and then you can move forward.
Yeah.
Okay. So Shelora, let's talk about this hand analysis that you do, which is so beautiful. I know you have a gift for our listeners. I would love for them to know what that is, and hopefully they'll reach out to you. So let them know how they can reach out to you and get that.
So I'm offering a free 20-minute to half an hour consultation to just explore where you're stuck and what I can do for you. And they can reach me. My email is inspiration@shelora.com. And my phone number, I guess I can't do that, but you can go on my website, www.shelora.com, and read about the hand analysis and email me at inspiration@shelora.com, and we can have that consultation and see if you want to move forward into a full hand analysis session, which I am going to offer at a special discounted price as well. So
awesome. I love that. Thank you. That's great. Thank you so much. And maybe if you could just tell us very quickly in maybe just 30 seconds, because I want to honor people's time, what's the difference between hand analysis and palmistry?
Okay. Hand analysis is about possibility and purpose and not prophecy. Okay. I am not going to tell you your fortune. I'm not going to tell you what's going to happen. I like to say we're in God's hands and God is in our hands. So we have been gifted. We have gifts and talents, and they are all designed to help us fulfill our life purpose. So in your fingerprints is encrypted the mystery, but the secret key to why you are here, the purpose of your life, and what it will take to create that right life that you were designed for.
Wow, that's awesome. What a great gift. So I'm looking forward to that, that hand analysis. I hope all of you listeners will take advantage of that as well. You know, Shelora, thank you so much for sharing your story, sharing your gifts, sharing your miracles with us. I really appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you. It's been
Great.
a pleasure.
Me too. Me too. And listeners, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for listening in, because I know that if you're listening, you are in the midst of your own transformation, as we all are, because life is an evolutionary process and we're constantly transforming. If we're paying attention, we allow ourselves to do this. And so thank you for that. I hope that you will take Shelora's advice, recognize the miracles that are showing up with you, no matter what is going on. And also be sure to buy this book, The Art and Truth of Transformation for Women, on launch day, which is October 20th. And you can go to our website, transformation-book.com. You'll be able to purchase the book. We'll direct you to Amazon to do that. You'll come back with your Amazon receipt number, plug it into our website, and you'll have access to 35 or more gifts from our partners and authors, and you will love all of those gifts too. So you get this wonderful book, all these wonderful gifts. Got to do it. October 20th, transformation-book.com. So everyone, thank you so much for being here. Have a beautiful day. Bye for now.